generic reason: why don't the All Blacks smile more? Opinion: Steve Hansen is right. There is a gap between the All Blacks and the Super Rugby teams. It is a gap as wide as Damian McKenzie's smile. Have you noticed how the Super Rugby teams seem to be having quite a lot of fun and how the All Blacks seem to be stuck in a snarling commuter jam on the way to work? Back in the 1960s, Wallace Rayburn, a man of many countries, came up with the title The Unsmiling Giants to describe the 1967 All Blacks. It stung, but are Hansen's men really so very different, except for not winning quite so much? They walk around like a shroud of tax collectors. This is a hugely talented team, but if only they would smile more. Hansen can be witty and he likes a laugh, but very often it is at someone else's expense. Perhaps he lacks that generosity of spirit that defined a truly great coach like Vince Lombardi. Hansen's idea of fun is to poke it at other people. It started as a whisper, but the sound of players saying how much fun they have been having away from the All Blacks environment has been rumbling around the land for a while now. Some quotes from the game against the Barbarians at Twickenham in November contrasted with the gloom that seems currently settled in the fibers of the black shirt. Robbie Deans said, "This is the way rugby should be regardless of what competition you're in. It's the players' game and sometimes coaches forget that. We produce stress when in actual fact, if we retain this element of fun, the players would rise to the level you want." Julian Savia said, "I've been enjoying myself in terms of rugby the last 3 months. It's been awesome. I couldn't be more happy to be part of this environment. I'm refreshed, I'm just expressing myself and having fun." That last testimony is perhaps the most poignant. Savia needs to play like a kid who feels the sunshine on his back. He needs to play with joy. Stress and anxiety are killers for his game. But then they are killers for many a young man's game. The All Blacks need to lighten up. It is no coincidence that the Crusaders suddenly won a Super Rugby title when Razor Robertson turned up. He may not yet be the world's greatest technical coach, but he is as good as anyone at freeing up his players to play. For far too long rugby had been a serious business, run by good but earnest men, down at the Crusaders. After Richie Mo'unga had been off into camp with the All Blacks, an interviewer asked if he had come back a bigger man, touched with new knowledge and magic. Was that why he had played so well in the Mitre 10 final? Mo'unga looked at the bloke as if he were mad. He had been gutted to be away from Canterbury. But now he was back in a great loving and caring culture. He was back playing for fun. "Who's got it better than us?" Mo'unga sang. And the answer seemed to be no one. Certainly not the All Blacks. McKenzie plays like he has constipation compared to the fun he has at the Chiefs. The Chiefs practiced and practiced those wild offloads with a smile on their faces, and James Lowe probably never stopped talking throughout. And maybe that's why so many of those loony counterattacks come off at the Chiefs and why so many founder at the All Blacks. Hansen can compare McKenzie to a fly in a bottle. But at the Chiefs they have taken the cork off the bottle. The players have been set free. It was a huge part of the squad's success under Dave Rennie. And fun is the most important thing that Robertson has brought to the Crusaders. He said earlier in the season, "I want them to have fun on Mondays, give me what I need from them and then give it all on a Saturday," which is what they're doing. "I'm not big on fear ruling, I want to make sure that we enjoy it, we have fun, and people want to come to work and engage to be better. There's always a part of the day that's not dedicated to rugby, it's about having fun. We have many group challenges, we had sing-offs, we have food challenges, it's endless how you can have fun." I see, if not a lot of fear around the All Blacks, then certainly apprehension. Chris Laidlaw remembered the magazine Punch describing the '67 team not without some justification, as having all the personality of a petrified forest. That is not true of the 2017 team, but they do sometimes talk and play like ossified trees. David Galbraith, the sports psychologist at the Chiefs, remarked how professionalism sucked the life out of sports sometimes. I see a lot of players in the All Blacks who look like they are having the life sucked out of them. Galbraith called Mackenzie a young man with a deep spirit and a zest for life. And he sings with zest in a Chiefs jersey. But I see apprehension and doubt when Mackenzie is playing for the All Blacks. Can someone please set him free again? When Rory Fallon was recalled to the All Whites this year, he said his role in the squad was to provide the fun. Fallon said a big part of the success back in 2009 was that the players were constantly laughing all the time. And maybe the 2011 All Blacks were not all natural residents of the House of Fun, but I suspect Stephen Donald's jokey personality in the preparation made a far bigger contribution to the winning of the final than his penalty goal. Comical Ali Williams, admittedly one of the world's worst stand-up comedians, said in the build-up, "We want to have fun, we don't want to forget about it." And sometimes you can still see some fun on the edges of this all-black team. Rico Ian grins with joy whenever he streaks clear. But Ian is now Janus, his face pointing two ways. The young man also jabs his finger at the scoreboard and laughs scornfully at the opposition. And surely most of us would much rather see the joyful kid, forever young and playing for fun, be the face of these Saturnine All Blacks.